here. In the next episode of Shimmy Chat, I'm going to talk with Sandy, who is the leader of Sand-sation Yoga and Dance. I met Sandy through Shimmy Mob, which is an organization that we both really believe in. It's a way to help domestic violence victims through the power of dance. And I'm going to be chatting with Sandy about that and about her dance career. So welcome, Sandy. I'm so happy to talk to you today.
Oh, thank you, Jessica. So sweet of you to reach out and for us to be together again. I guess we're going on our second year together, right?
Yes. We met
Yeah.
through the pandemic, but it was awesome that we were able to meet and connect, and we have lots of things in common, and it's just been great hanging out with you on Zoom.
Yes, yeah. One of the silver linings.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's start from the beginning. And why don't you tell us how you got involved in Bellydance and what sort of attracted you to it?
Well, belly dance, I got introduced into belly dance from my world of ballet, believe it or not. When I was in high school, we had the Knoxville Ballet Company, and that is the only time Knoxville's had a ballet company. It was just for 3 years there. It takes a lot of money to support a ballet company, and so we managed it for a couple of years, but I had a really good teacher. So anyway, we have the University of Tennessee is here, and the musical theater department was putting on a Broadway gala. And there is a musical that came out, gosh, I think it was in 1910, 11, something like that long ago. And then it came back about 70 years later to the stage and then also to the movie. It's called Kismet. I don't know if you've heard of Kismet before, but it's almost like it's an operetta. So it's very rich and full, different from what I would think most Broadway musicals would be like. So different bits and pieces from Broadway was Kismet. And so they asked for the dancers from the senior ballet company to be the harem dancers. So, of course, at 17, boy, we all thought we were, some hot stuff getting to be harem dancers here in Knoxville, Tennessee. But anyway, but it was all the performers that were in this. They were people that were from the symphony, from the UT department, from our opera company. So I got to dance and be around some very high level talent, which was great. And our costumes were made for us, and we came down the auditorium, down the aisles with our zills and all this kind of stuff, and so that's how I was first introduced to it. I don't even remember the song that we danced to or anything like that, but some of the songs from that are Stranger in Paradise is something somebody might know because Tony Bennett made that famous, and there was another song called, what was it? Baubles, Bangles, and Beads. And doesn't that sound like belly dance?
It sure does.
I mean,
That's perfect.
And so I'm like, oh yeah, so there was that. And so that was my first introduction. So that was really through my ballet teacher. So she went somewhere to study belly dance from somebody, and then she created the choreography. So that's how I was first introduced to belly dance. So, but I would not say it would be like a traditional belly dance like what you and I do. It would be kind of a blend of belly dance, ballet, and maybe a little bit of jazz, more of a musical theater kind of an Arabic number. But yeah, that was my first time with that. And after that, a couple years later, when I danced professionally, it just so happened that the very first show I was in, which was in Miami, we did 3 huge sets, production numbers, and the second one was an Egyptian. So here again, the 4 lead dancers, we did an Egyptian number, and it is still to this day the hardest choreography I've ever done in my whole life.
Oh wow!
It was, yeah, the the choreographer, and we can talk about him later, but he on purpose made this dance very technical because he wanted to keep us in shape. Because we were doing the same show twice a night, 6 days a week for 9 months. So
Wow.
that kept us on our toes, and the costume change was horrendous. We had to change shoes into these, like kind of like a Hermes sandal, but we had to modify them so they would stick to our feet, so we could do all the technical stuff to it. The wig was actually black beads, and they'd hit you in the face, and I mean it was just so it was totally kept me on my toes for like 9 months every day. And then the next show I was in, which was overseas, here again, and this we first started out in Cairo. Again, one of the productions was we did an Egyptian number again.
Ah.
And so in that, I was a solo belly dancer in that. Boy, was that a bit intimidating to be a solo belly dancer in an American ballet company in Cairo. So anyone was like, "Oh my gosh, I love doing this." But the producer of the show, this was like the 10th year they've done it, so I had a lot of trust in him and all that. So I did a dance with scars, that kind of thing. Another crazy costume change. I'm surprised I have a hair left in my head, after after that.
So you were a professional ballet dancer
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you were.
and jazz. Yeah, really, all my life as a child, it was always classical ballet. That was my teacher was that. She was a great teacher. I mean, so blessed to have her. And I started when I was 4, just ballet, so that nothing else, because it's so technical. I mean, there's one way to do second, there's one way to do first, and all that. So so that was all I did. And then when I was around 13 or 14, her teacher came and did an intensive workshop during the summer, and she was from New Mexico. Thank goodness. So what she did, being so close to California and all the jazz and all the dance that you all have there, I mean, it's just, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. So she brought jazz back here to us, and because her teacher did it, and it was at such a professional level. I mean, how much better can you get from a California influence, with that kind of dancing? So then we were allowed to start taking jazz. So my professional career was both ballet and jazz.
Oh, okay.
Starting out, yeah, yeah.
How did you transition then into teaching, and then you ended up professionally dancing as a belly dancer too, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So how did
yeah.
that transition happen?
Well, after dancing overseas, let's say I was in Miami for about a year, and then after Miami, I could have gone on with that company, several different countries, but it just kind of happened. It was kind of lucky. Tommy Finnan, the producer of the American Ballet Company, and by American Ballet Company, that's what they call it in Europe in the East. They just call it ballet. I mean, ballet means dance there. So he called one of the dancers in the show and said, "I'm going. Do you want to go?" Because she'd been on about 5 tours with him already. She said, "No, but I've got a dancer here in the show who happens to dance like your favorite dancer." So Millie said, "Send him some pictures." So I sent him some pictures. So he hired me sight unseen. Never seen me dance or anything, but he trusted her. So after me talked to my dad on the phone for like 2 days solid, to make sure this was, really, I mean, here he's, letting his, little girl, go off, to other countries and stuff. But I had to make sure it was, legit and everything like that. So that's how I ended up over there doing that. So anyway, then I came back home to Tennessee again, and I opened up a dance studio. Actually, somebody called me in California and said, "Would you open up a dance studio?"
Oh,
So I said, "Okay." So, I did. And so I did that. And then about maybe, I was teaching yoga and Pilates. And the manager there at that studio, she used to take dance lessons from the same teacher I did. So she knew of my experience, and she knew about, how I'd done the belly dance before and all that, overseas and stuff like that. So she said, "Would you mind, let's try teaching belly dance here." And I said, okay, well, this will probably last like 2 months and, it'll be over. So this is like 2000, end of 2007, I think. Yeah. So anyway, here we are, like what, 2022, and it's still going.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like we got the bad time of day, the stepchild time of day. It was like 8 o'clock at night, but you know how that goes. But people came and then they loved it. And like I said, it was like November, December, and I thought, okay, well, this might be it. And then the new year came, and they wanted to keep it on the schedule. And then before you know it, in another month, some of the other teachers around found out about it, and they were having a hafla, and they asked us to be in it. So, 4 months later, we did our first performance. And the song was Talakeek by Hakeem. I don't know if you know that song, but that was our very first one. So anyway, so now Jessica, you've inspired me to go back and redo that number. I want to like bring it back.
That
The
would be
first one we
cool.
ever did. Yeah, yeah. So because I still have some of those dancers with me.
Oh, wow,
They were there
that's
from
amazing. That's great.
yeah, from the very beginning. So yeah, I want to do that.
How
You want to
cool.
do it with us?
Sure. I'm in. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, who doesn't like Hakeem? I mean, he's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely. What's your favorite part about belly dance?
Like the first thing that comes to mind, it is so joyful. I think there's so much creativity that can come with it. There's so much emotion that you can evoke with it, especially the joyful aspect. And then you also, you have the others. You can dance very within emotionally, but you can also bring the audience in. So it's got. I like. I like them. Things are can be varied, so you don't stay the same thing. And then for me, if you consider the ballet so structured this way, only way, a zillion times, and you have the freedom in belly dance, and also as time has passed, it's a whole lot easier on your body. Your body gets to be in a natural, neutral position. It takes care of your joints, where ballet is very unnatural. You're
Yes.
rotated out from your hips, and then you do it on your big toes, and that kind of thing. So much variation in music, in counting, and then I like all styles. I like cabaret. I love Egyptian because I lived in Egypt, and I love fusion. I like putting it all together. It's just kind of unending,
Yeah.
and it's fun, and it makes people stop and they look and they laugh and they smile, and it's, oh, look, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
uh, just very positive, you know. So, and of course, the costumes. I love costumes, So it's always fun. I mean, here, as time has passed, I still get to dress up.
Yeah.
Still get to play dress up, which is great, and take on different characters and flavors and things like that. So, and I'm one of those people that I think everybody can dance.
Mhm.
Even from like, that ballet, how everything had to be, now that I've done belly dance, I just like, such a torso driven dance. And this is where our center is. It's a dance of the heart. And then, and then from your belly, that kind of thing. And I just tell people, oh, I can't dance. I got two left feet. Well, guess what? You can belly dance without moving your feet. So it gives people a little bit of confidence. Hey, well, maybe I can dance. I can start out, with belly dance. I don't have to move my feet too much, and then, once they come in and they get comfortable, then we start to add a little triple step, that kind of thing, and a little Sinead turn, and so before they know it, they really are dancing.
Yeah.
I know you've seen this too. People who come in, like, I can't dance, and maybe they are a little bit awkward, in the beginning, but it always just kind of, just like anything, it always just kind of flows into, and all of a sudden, hey, I can dance,
Yeah.
and that's a beautiful thing to share.
It is. It definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are your inspirations in dance?
Inspirations in dance are my friends, that I'm close to. Most of all, because those are, the people that I'm with. But I say as growing up, it would have been, and you won't know these people probably because it's, a long time ago. And they're no, Margot Fontaine, she was the English ballerina, and Rudolph Nureyev, and they were partners. Oh gosh, their story is, when you read their story, it'll, bring tears to your eyes. Oh, I'm going to do it right now. And then, of course, Barishnikov, you know. And then, I guess as far as belly dance, besides my belly dance, friends would be Zizi Mustafa, because she was the belly, when we were dancing in Egypt, the way that show worked is there was a professional belly dancer in every show. In fact, that would be the finale of the show, and she was ours.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, So we got to see her and learn from, see her every single night dance.
Wow.
And there was also a folkloric trip, and I meant to, that also danced before her, was very Retta styled, and I meant to call, I'm still in touch with my dance captain from back then. In fact, he just went to Egypt and came back, and he's starting a tour company for luxury tours to Egypt. And I meant to ask him what the name of that troupe was, because they were like top line too. So anyway, so my roommate and I, another dancer that was in the show, we took lessons from her, private lessons from her. And then we would, we would watch and we would dance with her off stage and all that. Of course, she was an actress as well. And so I couldn't not mention her. And of course, my ballet teacher. Yeah, yeah. Those are the people that are, really the closest to me. And then I'd have to say the person who hired me, Steve Merritt, that, for sure gave me my start, or else I would have started my own dance studio right then. In fact, I was graduating from high school, went to college for, let's see, I was in my second year of college, and I was teaching at my ballet teacher studio. And there was a group that came from another town, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes away, and I was their teacher. So they said, why don't you come up here and open a studio? So I said, okay. So that summer, my dad and I, we were making plans for the studio. We had a place picked out, and then Steve came to teach this intensive workshop, and he said, I would like for you to be in my show. So that's how it all started. So he would definitely be an inspiration. He passed away when he was about 55 of AIDS. It was back in that time.
Yeah.
But like you, he was an Emmy Award-winning choreographer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think he won a couple. The one that impresses me the most is that he did the opening number for the Tonys one year, and he was voted the best choreographer. He was amazing. Well, after I got back from dancing overseas, he brought me out to California. He already had 4 guys that were dancing, and he was going to get a group of 4 girls. I was going to be one of them. He had one there, and he was still looking for 2 more. So he just said, he told me, I want you to train, train, train. I had like 4 different teachers I trained with every single day. And so I did that, I guess, for about a year. And then he offered me a show, which is in San Francisco. It's closed now. It was called Beach Blanket Babylon. And that was a show. It's one of the longest running live musical theaters, but it closed like 2 years ago. And they always had a different cast and a different show. But at that time, I'd been offered to do the studio back home. And so California felt a little fast for me.
Yeah.
In fact, but he was so tough. I have a diary from that first show.
Yeah.
I hate Steve Merritt. He is so mean, because he was, oh gosh, he was so tough, But at the end, he gave everybody flowers and jewelry, and was then just the nicest guy. After he, just beat the choreography into it,
Right.
It was a month. It was a month long doing that show, 8 hours a day.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was a lot.
If you had beginners coming in to take belly dance, how would you describe it to them?
I always describe it, and I'll usually do this also if I have the time allowed, like like we go dance for festivals or whatever events, to try to take the stigma away from belly dance because we're in the South in the Bible Belt here, and there are some people that still just um, don't appreciate it for whatever reasons uh, that they may have. So this is the way I open it up. I say, okay, like we have American jazz, we have American hip hop here, all isolations, right?
Yep.
Or when you go to a wedding and dance and you're just dancing. Well, this is what belly dance is from the Middle East. Just say that they were going to a wedding, a party, a reception, a get together, and they were just going to dance. Well, this is the way they dance there. It started from that kind of form before it got on stage. So I try to put it that way. It's just, just like, each region kind of has a style of dance. This is just their way of dancing and celebrating and having joy and fun and that kind of thing. And then it kind of got stylized and choreographed and put on stage and that kind of thing. Same thing here. We dance, it gets put on stage, so it's just simply, I just try to say it's just kind of their form of jazz or hip hop so that they just don't think, oh, that's just a bunch of wiggle.
Yeah.
you know, so I hear that more, than anything. And then we're a little bit careful. Well, not a little bit, we're a lot careful with our costuming, also. But that's gotten a little bit easier, but we are kind of careful with that. So if it's somebody that's not even asking me about dance, that's my first go-to. And if it's somebody who's interested in dance, I'll still say a little bit of that. It's isolation, to all kinds of music,
Yeah. Yeah.
and something people can relate to, I think.
Right. Yes, definitely.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it sounds like you've always wanted to be a dance teacher. It sounds like that kind of was the path that you chose and it sort of drove you through your life with, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I started teaching when I was 17 at my dance teacher studio. And even when and I was going to keep that up, keep teaching, there at the studio. When I went to UT at that time to get a degree, I mean, the only thing I could do was like PE, physical, and they had a little bit of dance there, not much, but they wouldn't. In fact, I tried to proficiency out of it, and they wouldn't let me do that. So I did that for about a year and thought about teaching biology. I've always loved teaching and sharing. So I just did that for a year. And then I went to a year of business college. My dad was a photographer, and he always pushed me in, or not pushed me, but directed me into uh, to have my own business.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
said, yeah, you've got a gift, you've got a talent, you love what you do,
Yeah.
uh, why don't you do this? You can be your own boss instead of, I mean, working for somebody else,
Yeah.
And you see, he did that, and so I was always encouraged, to do it that way. So after UT didn't work out, I mean, I couldn't go anywhere with the dance, there. Then I went to business college,
Uh-huh.
and to help me with that. And but then after business college, and then this is when which worked out eventually, but then I went to dance professionally. You got to do that when you're asked because when you're young.
Yes.
So that's kind of, so yeah. I guess I always was going to teach.
What unexpected things have you learned being a dancer?
It opened up many doors for me that I would have normally had. I learned about music, but that kind of goes with it. You learn about people, cultures, maybe deeper levels and layers of every part of it. And I know one would be the choreography part of it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, being a dancer, and I was like, okay, now I've got to create this, or producing,
Yes.
creating show material, that kind of thing. That was all But you know what? This is so funny. This has made me think. My best friend and I, when we were about 8 or 9 years old, we used to party plan like crazy. So I
Oh,
think I was going to be a planner, event planner a long time ago. Also, it just kind of all went
yes.
together. I just now thought of that. So, but that's a big thing that you learn. Is putting things together and trying to make them all work. And then when you work with people, as you work with adults,
Yeah.
if they didn't have a dance background, when they were younger,
Yeah.
it's a whole different way of working with people.
Yes.
So I've learned that different ways to work with different people depending on what their background was,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So, oh
Yeah.
gosh, let's just say life skills.
So what style of belly dance is your favorite and what would you consider your style?
Okay, so my style would be more, I like movement.
Hmm.
So I would say more cabaret
Uh-huh.
for me. And then I still like to draw back from that Egyptian roots, that kind of thing. And then after I did so much of the cabaret style, just staying all with, within the Middle Eastern genre, I started to want to do more fusion pieces.
Yep.
And I thought, like when I first started, I have this strong ballet and jazz background.
Yes.
And in the beginning, it kind of, by a few people, got frowned upon
Hmm.
if I started to add that in.
Oh.
And so I got my feelings hurt. So, okay, I'll try to just stay more authentic, that kind of thing. And then I just went to heck with it.
Hmm.
Why not? Why not pull this other? I love inclusivity
Yes.
in everything, and diversity. So I thought I am depriving my dancers of being able to pull these other elements in. There are Egyptian ballet companies,
Yes.
too, so,
Yep.
uh, and also the audience might, so then and then I just put the fear away and I said, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Some people are going to love it, some people are not going to like it. And I just think it adds, here again, it just adds another layer of depth and interest. And instead of the separating, let's just bring it all together
Yeah.
and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And just, so I love fusion too. That's what my point. I'm trying to say that,
Yeah.
Tribal, I like tribal in small doses.
Mhm.
But I do really like it and it feels really good in my body.
Mm.
It almost feels like, okay, it almost feels therapeutic,
Mm.
because there's not so much footwork and it's slow and
Oh,
all that.
yes.
And so I like doing that periodically, maybe once a year,
Yeah.
once every other year, I'll pull that in.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll do. I'll just say, okay, it's time to do this now. Now it's time to do that.
Yeah.
Lately, through the pandemic, I've been pulling a lot from actually my yoga roots from India.
Really? Oh.
Oh yeah, I've got, we had the path to Goa. Goa is India. So I did that first. I was like, and I haven't finished it yet. I know one of your questions on is one of the project things. I want to do this journey thing
Uh-huh.
from that includes like the Roma dancing, with the skirts and all that. And
Yes.
they started from India and all that, and the Egyptian thing. So I've got this whole thing working out. And anyway, so
Like it could
one
be
day
a
I'll have
stage
this
show.
whole. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. Yeah, exactly. Even though we have all this inclusivity,
Uh-huh.
everybody's still their one unique person.
So having a dance background, would you say that that makes you more of a choreography teacher and learner and dancer versus improvisation, or do you like to do both?
number one. Much more the choreography.
Choreography.
It's yeah. Improv is okay. And I've done a little bit of it, but not a lot. And I should probably do that. Uh, and but I get nervous
Yes.
because I just get. I thought, oh gosh, what if I miss a beat, or if I'm make a mistake and I do something that doesn't match that part of the music, and that's my analytical side of my
Yes.
head.
Yep.
So anyway, I'll put that on my list with my those other things that you inspired me with.
Oh,
I have a
good.
list of three now. I want to do Talakik, our first number. I want to the Zizi Mustafa, since you brought that back up, Mama. I want to go back and do something for her, what she's done, and then I'll do an improv. I'll put this in a stage show.
Yeah, sounds great. Have you performed with live bands before? And do you feel like that would be a place where you would have to do improvisation?
Yeah, that would be a perfect place to do because then you could actually see the band and that kind of thing, and you can kind of feel off of each other. Uh, all the um, all the professional performances that I did um, through the ballet and the jazz, it was all with live music. The
Oh,
ballet company was a whole lot with the symphony and that kind of thing. So
oh,
I'm
cool.
really used to live music. I love live music, and so as far as belly dance goes, we don't have that here in Knoxville.
Mm.
There's really, I'm trying to think, maybe a maybe there no there is somebody, but they live up in Newmarket. There's a drummer up there, and then so we really don't have that opportunity. I'd have to bring somebody in, to do that. I got my partner a doom bag though, so he's working on it. So we're working, and
Oh,
Brian.
good. That's
So
great.
yeah, so he's got it. So we're working toward that,
Yeah, that would be fun.
So yeah, because he's a music, he's very musically inclined. So he's been working on that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have you ever danced in restaurants, and is there any sort of opportunity for that in Knoxville, or is that sort of not?
Well, we have one. We have one called the Mirage, and back in the beginning, uh, we danced there as a troupe.
Uh-huh.
I've never danced there, by myself or anything. Well, I've done a couple solos, but still, it was like Hoffless, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And the owner there, we had, let's see, he left after about 4 years, but he opened up the space. Like we could, he allowed us to use it for rehearsal space.
Oh,
Like the restaurant would be open for lunch and stuff like that, and we could go in there and in costume and and dance, and that way we're getting time in front of the audience, and we're
yeah.
getting to practice, and they're getting to watch, and that kind of thing. And the Mirage, it has gotten sold, and it is still here, and they have a belly dancer that comes from Kentucky,
Mm.
and she comes down about once a month
Oh,
and dances down there. Of course, we haven't had a lot because of the pandemic, but oh yeah, and then I had another friend. Actually, I forgot about this. A couple of years ago, she and her husband opened up a restaurant for it lasted about a year, and my students danced there.
oh, that's fun.
So yeah, so that was really good. I've forgotten all about that. So, but that's about it really.
Have you ever made your own costumes, or do you have a favorite designer of costumes?
My favorite designer of costumes is one of my students.
Well, that's
I
great.
have a, I, yeah, I have a student, and she just volunteered, and she said, "Let me make your costumes," and they are to the T. I mean, she is so good. And I have another friend too. She's on the Shimmy mob, and they're both just excellent. So they make my costumes, and I have made a couple. Not any. Well, see, no, I made one mermaid skirt. I made a couple of bras. We did one year, we did, Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, and we all made our own pink bras.
Oh, cool.
And they had a big race, what is it, the Susan, I can't think of
Oh,
her name.
Susan Coleman, right?
Yeah, yeah. So she had a race. So we've danced at that a couple times, and so we, made our own, bras and stuff like that, and so we've done that. And this is a funny story too. So another time, one of my dancers, her husband made her bras, and so this was kind of back at the beginning, and he's. So I said, "Do you think he could help? Let's all do this, because none of us we just got started. So, so one of the husbands, we had a bra making workshop with her husband,
Oh, how
and
fun.
he's oh, and he's like, he rides a Harley, and he's tatted from here to there, and here we are back in here with the bras and the rhinestones, and I mean, he's just like this giant teddy bear.
What are some of your favorite belly dance memories?
Getting to dance, with, you know, online, with the people that we've met.
Yep.
I mean, that's an incredible, happening and
Yes.
memory. And we have performed so much. I mean, just they're all very memorable, and I can't really think of one that really stands out, except for if it was a cause
Uh-huh.
that made a difference, if it's, I mean, the festivals are fun and stuff like that, but we do, I mean, of course, the Shimmy Mob for domestic violence, family abuse, that kind of thing. Those causes, those are always be remembered. And we do a lot of things for, like the breast cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia. Anytime we've got a
Yes.
cause behind it, that gives it more. But it's
Yeah.
all, it's all great, so.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about Shimmy Mob. How long
Okay.
have you been involved in Shimmy Mob, and why is it important to you?
Okay. Well, I didn't do it the first year. I heard about it the first year, but I wanted to kind of wait a year to kind of see, what happened with it, and what it was, how that would kind of unfold. And so the next year I was actually in New Orleans. I was helping to open up a yoga and a Pilates studio down there. It was just a short-lived thing, and then I came back. So I was in, the first time was the second year with the New Orleans group down there, and that was a lot of fun. So then the third year is when I started here, and so we've kind of done it ever since then. I think, it's important just because of the cause. It is, and makes a lot of people happy, and it's a kind of a fun way to reach people in, maybe a less intimidating way. I mean, it's such a kind of a secret thing, and it's silent. People don't want to talk about it if they're involved in it. There may be some shame involved,
Yes.
like, how did I get into this? And so it may be an easier way for them to open up. And I think that very much we have the ripple effect.
Mhm.
Sometimes we don't know who, that we're really reaching with that. And of course, the statistics, what I think it's here in Tennessee, we are, gosh, the 10th in the nation in murders,
Oh gosh.
in domestic violence. I believe our numbers are 1 in 4 women, 1 in 7 men.
Wow.
Every 68 seconds, there's a sexual assault. So our numbers are not good here at all. And so that's the heavy part
Yep.
of it, and but it's the root of it, so yes, I just think it's, really important to try to make any kind of difference that we can in that. And the Knoxville Justice Center is our charity, and it's really a good one because it's a one-stop shop thing. All the others is an umbrella for all the others. So because, I mean, if you imagine you are in a situation, what do I do? How am I going to feed myself, my kids? Where am I going to go? How am I going to get up safely? How am I going to stay protected? Am I going to make this person mad? All that kind of stuff. So then you have this one place that you go, and they have all the resources. So
Yes.
that feels real good. We've got cards, and so it just feels like an easy way to get to people. So instead of, well, you need to go here, and then you got to go here, we can just go here. You
Yeah.
got this one thing to do, and so that's really, really helpful. And actually, until a couple of years ago, the director of the company, she was also a ballet. She was also in the same ballet company I was in. So her and I went way back. So that was really good to, get to work with her. Now the new director comes from a law background, and she's doing really, really, really good things with it. So, and we have a real good connection with each other. And so, yeah. And you get to, and on the other side, we get to meet people. We're all doing things for a good thing. And I mean, it's just, that's what we're supposed to do. We're here
Yes.
for a good purpose to,
Exactly.
so, yeah, so it's just good.
Okay, so how has the pandemic affected your dance business?
Well, the pandemic, let's see, my last class was March 17th, 2019. I remember that. That was it. And that one wasn't a belly dance. I was teaching yoga at a physical therapy center, and that was it. And then for dance, we took 1 week off, and then we tried to do a Facebook
Uh-huh.
class, like in a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And of course, with yoga and Pilates and exercise without music, you can do that kind of thing. You put the music with it, totally, when you have timing and things like that, and whether you're facing the front, the back, the rights, the lefts, so we did one Facebook thing, and then we started getting our equipment, and so we really didn't miss any. We just missed that 1 week, and we just kept at least one. We did one belly dance class a week, from there, and so everything else, shut down. All my ballet and
Yeah.
all my yoga and all that. But the Sensation Dance class, which is the Sensation Dancers, my troupe,
Yeah.
we just kept on going.
That's cool.
And I tried to think of things that would be for choreography. Okay, I was trying to think. We were finishing up a choreography when it first started, and then we were getting ready to do the Rossini Festival. So actually, we were probably in rehearsal mode, so not really learning anything new.
Yeah.
So then, when I was ready to teach something new, I thought, okay, let's do a drum solo, because drum solo is so exact, with movements. And I thought, well, okay, that ought to transfer to film pretty easily,
Yeah.
something that people could, see easily. And drum solos are fun.
Yeah.
And it was not fun not getting to be together. So I was trying to think of something to do that was fun as possible. And so we're finally doing that. Well, see, have we done that drum dance? Yeah, we did the drum dance last year, but the way we had to do it, because we weren't together, is we took it apart, and each person had a solo in it.
Oh,
We
interesting. Yeah.
performed it live. Yeah, we performed it live. In fact, it was for a Shimmy Mob event,
Uh-huh.
and it was masked outside somewhere. And So, but instead of doing it as a group, you just say, okay, this is your 32 counts. And so everybody got to do a solo. So the end of this month, April the 30th, we're doing the Rossini Festival. So we're going to do that drum solo as a group finally. Only half of it though, because it's too complicated to do.
Yeah.
The last half was the more complicated part.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
said, let's just get this first half out, and then we'll add
Yeah.
the second half later,
Yes.
So,
I
and
noticed for me, teaching online, I had to alter my choreographies and I had to change things because teaching through Zoom is so different than teaching in person. And
mm-hmm,
it had to be easier, it had to be simpler, it had to be more
mm-hmm,
accessible for everybody.
mm-hmm. And
So
it had to be right here.
yeah,
It couldn't travel very far. You
Yeah,
could just turn around yourself, no formation changes. Boom, you are there, because
exactly.
not everybody has space,
Definitely, because some people are
you
just
know.
in small little rooms with lots of
Uh-huh.
furniture. Yeah,
Uh-huh. And throw a prop in there, and we love props. Then it's like, oh my God, slaps
exactly.
my husband's head off, with a sword.
Yeah.
But so anyway, that's been a big growth spurt for us dance teachers,
Yes.
hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Because if you think about it, probably before Zoom, what we would say, do not learn how to belly dance off of YouTube.
Right. Exactly.
You're
We
right.
used to say that.
You have to have a teacher.
Yeah.
Because that's what people, oh, I'm just going to learn how to dance on YouTube. Like, oh my God, no. So, you just, you have to have the guidance. So when you have a formed class, I mean, you already kind of know what they tend to do, what they tend to need to do, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So, I mean, so having an established class was definitely easier to teach, than teaching people that you don't know, because you already kind of know, their strengths and weaknesses and, that kind of thing. So that was an advantage having that kind of class. So that changed that little motto about learning online.
Yep.
So anyway, instead of just copying,
Right.
kind of a monkey see monkey thing, but
Sure. So tell us about your troupe, the Sensation Dancers.
Mhm.
When did it start?
Well, it's
Yeah.
yeah. Well, like I said, we performed first in 2000. I was God, yeah. The first thing they got to do was a hafla which was really great, experience. For them right off the bat, they'd only been taking like 3 months.
Uh-huh.
And oh, we worked really hard though. I mean, our class was 2 hours long,
Yeah.
in order, we'd have a class and then we'd rehearse
Yeah.
that one number. And so, like I said, I still have some of the same ones that I had before. One of the things that I appreciate about the dance group, and that I hear from, oh, this is one of the things I was going to tell you. You said my favorite memory was the first time we were dancing at an art gallery opening, and there's a photographer in town that goes around and does all the events. So
Mhm.
he was taking our pictures and stuff, and he still is. He's like, everybody wants to knight this man. I mean, because he's so good.
Yeah.
And he came up to me and he said, "See, I just want to tell you," he said, "what I like about your group so much, it is so diversified. You have every size, every age, every color skin. They're not cookie cutter dancers. Everybody shines with their own personalities, that kind of thing. So it's here again, it's that instead of the separation thing, it's just we're all in this together, and
Yeah.
the diversity part, and I really appreciated that when I heard that,
Yeah.
and because it really wasn't intent. I don't think I even realized it,
Uh-huh.
at the time. And then as we kept going, that's what everybody would say. Oh my God, here we get to see everything here. So that was like one of my main favorite memories that I heard about the dancers,
Yes.
from somebody who has, been around. And so the dancers are great. One of the great things that they say about each other is everybody nurtures each other, they take care of each other. Our one problem that we might have is that everybody agrees that they will do what anybody else wants to do. So sometimes it can be hard to come up with a decision. Okay. And so I'll go, okay, I'll take the heat and I'll make the choice, And remember, you all said, we'll just go with what everybody wants to do. So they're just a big hearted group of girls. So, and a guy. So
Cool.
anyway, but that's it. And they do really, I mean, as an adult, it's hard to fit it in.
Yeah.
All the I mean, and there's so much. It's different from when you're teaching kids. They got this whole life that they have to, organize with all the rehearsals and things like that. And since I live it, I kind of had bigger expectations, in the beginning.
Right.
I've calmed down. So,
Yeah.
anyway, no, but they're awesome. So
You produce the Nutcracker every year?
no, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No, huh?
You've
No.
done it a few times at least, right?
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah. My first time I danced with the Atlanta Ballet Company when I was about 10 and 11. Well, I think I danced with them like 3 times. I did it at my dance studio
Yeah.
one time. And then I did it last year. Actually, what we did is we did an Arabian number, and that was actually with the swords and all that kind of. So it was more of
Ah,
like a let me take the Arabian music, and it was actually more of almost like a belly dance, So
oh,
that's
cool.
what I did last year. So yeah, and of course I teach the little ones.
Yes.
I love the little ones and the adults. Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Something else that's really cool too is I haven't got to do it this year, but before COVID, I taught at an assisted living belly dance there in a chair. We
Oh,
came for in Christmas time. They wanted us to dance, and so we did. She said, "Do you think you could come and teach them?" And I said,
oh,
"I'll
cool.
try." So I would go once a week until COVID, came. And so what it would do is they would dance, they would do some belly dancing. We did a little bit of line dancing, and then I would perform for them,
Yeah.
once a week. So I would never thought I'd be teaching, Alzheimer's patients belly dance, but it
Right.
happened, and it was good,
That's
so
cool. Yeah, that's great.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I love that. Okay, so I want to know what your favorite prop is to dance with.
That's a favorite prop. Oh Lord, I love props so much.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's a tie between wings and sword.
Uh-huh.
Um, the sword has so much power and respect,
Yes.
you know, um, and the audience loves it, and we want to be, and so that's great, when the audience is like, wow.
Yeah.
Um, and it's more challenging, I think, than the wings are also. Um, so because it can fall, yeah, so anyway, but I love the sword, and I love the wings too, because it almost just feels like such a fantasy.
Yes.
Wings, it's almost like a superpower kind of thing. I'll never forget, we were doing Fantasy of Trees, and my son was coming to be the narrator for the show. So he walked in the dressing room. I'm all silver with these silver, and I had my silver wings up like this. He never seen them before. He's like, "Oh, my mom is a superhero, And
Oh,
he's
cool.
an adult. He's an adult, and he was like blown away. And I thought, okay, if I can blow away Aaron, who grew up in a dance studio and seen
Yeah.
everything and all, good, So anyway, so I love those both. I love Veil.
Uh-huh.
I love fire, but fire is the scariest though. But we I've done 2 fire choreographies,
Oh, cool.
but the challenge with that is trying to find a place that'll let you do it
Right. Yes.
because of fire. I mean, you have to hire somebody for $250 to put you out, just in case.
Right.
Some people will let you do it, and so we have these candles that we'll do instead. And they're all pretty and all that, but it doesn't have the same thing. Oh, we put it like right on our forehead, this whole 9 yards on our head. It's definitely scary, but so that's kind of the fun. It keeps you on your toes.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah.
it takes you out of your comfort zone. So I think that's important.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And I like skirts. I like dancing with skirts. They're fun too. That makes you feel like a little girl again.
Yes.
Real flirty and fun like that, and just almost like painting.
Yeah.
Making colors. With the skirt, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I like that too. I think that's about all the problem. I've never danced with a cane.
Oh, really?
I never have. I have done zills.
Uh-huh.
That's the one I could work on, is the zills. I always blame it on my fingernails. I don't have long fingernails now, so maybe I can do it. I don't know. But yes, I'd like to do that because that's got that exotic kind of feel to it,
Yeah.
and that's a fun emotion too, that part. So I'll
Yeah.
just start out with something slow.
Yep.
But,
Do you have a favorite song to dance to?
okay, the first thing that popped into my mind was "Yearning." Do you know that
Oh yes.
song?
Oh yes. Yep.
I have done three choreographies to that piece. When
Wow.
I first heard that song, it pulled me so much. The first one I did a solo
Uh-huh.
to it, and that we went away to, or a couple of us went away to take a workshop, and I performed that there. And I loved doing that dance. And I was studying some energy medicine at the same time, and nobody knew it, but I incorporated some energy medicine into it. The infinity. I mean, really, belly dance is a healing
Yeah.
modality. And then I did it with my troupe, but I had to change it because it wasn't a
Yeah.
solo. And then I did it again with because we didn't get to do it very much. I can't remember why. And so then we did it again, and then we put bells and swords with it.
Oh.
And that was really interesting. So I've used
Yeah.
that three times. And then for something that's fun and lively, right now, the Habibi Da, which is a
Uh-huh.
fusion of Arabic and Bollywood Indian.
Uh-huh.
Of course, we're doing that right now, and that song makes me so happy every time I hear it. And I'm trying to think. I think it came out about a little over 10 years ago. I think it won a Grammy,
Oh.
and I loved it then. And I've just always loved it. And so then when I got into this mode of this idea of this journey,
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this will be a good mix right here. So I like that one right now. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Cool. So you're known for finding hearts in
Oh
pictures
yeah,
and
yeah,
in life.
that's right.
So tell us about
Yeah. Here's my candle.
that. Here's
I just have
mine.
yeah. Well, it just kind of started happening a couple of years ago, maybe about 4 years ago. Just Brian and I'd like to travel, and they just kind of started, I don't know, showing up in rocks. I guess this is kind of when we were getting to know each other. And so anyway, so hearts were showing up and that kind of thing, and rocks. I don't know, and I just started taking notice of it, and I started taking pictures of it, and I just kind of posted them. And I didn't call them heart finds or anything like that. It was just like things in nature. And then all of a sudden people started sending them to me. If they saw a heart, they thought of me, and they sent it to me. And so then somebody, oh, it was one of my old dance students actually. She called it a heart find for the first
Oh,
time. She said, I found a heart for you. She said, Sandy, here's a heart find. And I thought, well, I like that.
yeah.
And then as it evolved, it really came out from Shimmy Mob. I started, okay, so that was cool, finding things that were shaped like hearts. I
Yeah.
think somebody even sent me a heart, a steak shaped like a heart one time. I mean, just crazy stuff. So anyway, I said, I wonder how I can, do something with this. And so we started kind of using the phrase uh, with Shimmy Mob, you are not alone.
Oh.
We believe you.
Uh-huh.
You are loved, that kind of thing with a hashtag.
Uh-huh.
And just like so if a victim saw it, they would just get that little spark, I'm not alone. Somebody out there does believe me. I
Yeah.
am lovable, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So then I started, like, when I would share the heart find, I would tie into those hashtags,
Uh-huh.
and not necessarily say anything about Shimmy Mob, but that's kind of where the intention was to
Yes.
reach somebody that may be hurting that day
Yeah.
or whatever. And I don't always do that because sometimes if you always do something, it gets glazed over and it's not seen
Right.
anymore. So I kind of just go back and forth, with that, with
Yeah.
whatever is irrelevant, but it is so much fun now. Oh, and then another one, a person, she's actually makes jewelry, and she started sending them to me, and she sent it to me saying, "See the love all around you." And I thought, this is what I hope people think about when they see a heart, is there is love everywhere. And we've been through so much.
Yes.
I mean, these last couple, not just the pandemic, but lots of stuff, and it's still stuff's going on, with the war and all that.
Yes.
So it's just like was trying to, come back to the heart, coming back to love, that kind of thing. And then I've done all this training in yoga with this group in New York, Science of Self, who I'm teaching for them now. Yeah. And their bottom line, it's not about the poses, the exercises, that's all good and everything, but it's all about coming back to your true self in your heart. So it just tied all in together. So that's when I changed the name of my yoga. It's Sensation Dance and Heart Find Yoga, because that's always kind of the bottom line, is to come back to your, to your heart. So it was just kind of a fun thing that started getting these little layers of depth here and there. Who knows where we'll go next, So another way, it's like Shimmy Mob. It's a fun way.
Yeah.
To bring attention to something that has meaning,
Tell us, is there a belly dance scene in Tennessee, or any festivals or anything going on close by?
Well, not much since the pandemic. We used to, back when I first started, we had pretty good belly dance scene. There was like a couple teachers teaching. There would be at least 1 or 2 shows a year. There would be where everybody would come in together and do 1 or 2 numbers. And they would be on stage, like a stage kind of a show.
Yeah.
And, but then it kind of went to it's kind of like the ballet company, good for a couple of years. Then it went to the wayside, because they're expensive, to do. And then, every once in a while, somebody would have a workshop and then have a half, that kind of thing. But we haven't had too much here, lately. There is somebody that teaches out west of me a little bit, and then there's another one. Hers is more of a workout kind of a thing. There was another troupe, and I can't think of their names. There was 4 dancers, and they kind of broke off from their teachers, and they did their own professional troupe kind of thing. But I don't think they're doing too much. Nobody's doing much anymore. I mean, right now.
Yeah.
I guess it'll come back around, eventually. Yes. We don't have any belly dance festivals or anything like that. Don't know too much about the Nashville scene either. Like I said, there used to be, because I used to go, take some workshops there. But that's really about it, So what we do is we just we do have a lot of festivals here that are just not necessarily a belly dance festival. And if they're a theme related, one thing our group is really good at, and is if it's a theme related thing, I can take 1 or 2 numbers to make it fit that theme.
Yes.
Like we've even you've done this too, the Asian festival.
Yes.
And the Ola, and you just take a couple of numbers and just, or you do a choreography to fit the theme, but then you can still do your other numbers also.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And
so that's the way we have done a lot of those, so that so we can still honor that culture, at the same time. And we have a couple art galleries we dance at regularly, and so we do parades, Pride Parade, that kind of thing, and so there's a lot of opportunity to perform, or there was, and it is coming back. There used to be a Renaissance festival.
Oh yes,
but it's a couple cities, like a Tri-Cities away. I'd love to do that in the fall. I think that would be fun. That'd be a good place to do the live music.
Definitely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Here, when they have the Renaissance Fair, they have a wonderful live band with the dancers. So there's a bunch of drummers and some oud players and stuff. And it's
cool.
Really wonderful. You mentioned that you have traveled to places, obviously Egypt was like the big one, to dance. So when you traveled to dance, did you ever do any specific workshops or anything, or was it for the shows that you mentioned only?
Actually, it was just this show. Like we were in Egypt for about 9 months. We were in Cairo for most of that time. We went to Alexandria and we danced there for 1 month. Then from there we went to Portugal and it was a resort.
Oh,
We were there for 2 months. It kind of what happened is it really depends on the state of the country.
oh yeah,
Like we were, if whether they're like at war or not,
right.
whether it's safe or not. So we started and we just kind of weren't really sure where we were going to go. But like I said, they were very seasoned touring group. Then we went, after that, we went to Spain. We were there for 2 months. That was a quite a bit of a challenge. They stay up so late.
Oh,
Our first show was at 9, the second one was at 12. So
oh
we
wow.
would do, yeah, we would do the show at 9. I mean, it's just really different. We would do the show at 9 o'clock. My roommate and I, we would go back to our room, lay down, sleep in full makeup,
Oh gosh.
get back up, and then do the second show at 12 at midnight. And then we'd stay up all night long,
Wow.
shop in the morning, run around, and then sleep during the day, and then start all. It was like living vampires.
Yes.
But I mean, that's the only way that we could really do it. And then we had a beautiful flamenco dancer and a Spanish singer though there. It was really good. That was really a fun place too. We finished in Greece. We were there for 4 months. In Greece, we danced at a resort up on top of a mountain.
Oh
You
wow.
couldn't drive there. We had to ride in a tram to get up to this resort.
Wow.
Uh, and so, and I'm scared of heights.
Yeah.
So that was one of a learning thing I got from dance. I, learned to not be afraid of heights anymore. We only got stuck one time, just hanging there, and they were able to get it fixed. So, and anyway, at the close of that tour, I could have signed again, but I was ready, actually to come on home from
Yeah.
there. But we didn't really. The only thing we really did is, Shannon and I, my roommate. We took lessons with ZZ, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Shanna came back. She was really an actress. She just really went on the tour because something about the card, you had to perform so much to get, what is the NASCAP card or something like that. So
Okay.
she came back and she was actually the mother in the TV show Major Dad. I
Oh,
don't know if you knew that show or not.
yeah.
Comedic actress, and she, I think she did a dance movie or something like that. Really cool. It was so funny. I had the studio, and here she was in TV and all that. And she called me one day. She said, "Sandy, you are so lucky because you just have a studio." I'm like, "You're the one that's lucky. You're gonna.
Tell us about some of the fairs and festivals you performed at. Yeah.
Performed at. Well, we're getting ready for Rossini. That's probably the biggest. That is the biggest festival in Knoxville. It's the opera company. They do 3 operas a year, and this is an Italian street festival. They
Oh.
close the whole downtown,
Uh-huh.
for this festival, and there are, oh gosh, uh, so many stages where the symphony is on one, all the different singers, the opera company. In the market square, which is kind of where everything happens, that's where the dance stage is.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna perform there. So that's a big one. In June, we usually do Pride. It has gotten moved to October
Oh.
because it's so hot in June, trying
Oh.
to do that. And the end of the summer is usually the Asian festival. I'm not sure we're going to do that one. That one was the hardest one for choreography for me to try to fit.
Yes.
We had this girl come from San Francisco. I just now remember this. She played the that Chinese harp thing.
Oh yeah.
And so anyway, the director of this festival, she said, "We have this girl coming out, could you all dance to whatever she plays?"
Oh.
I thought, well, so I got in contact with her, and it turns out plays like American kind of music, like Smoke on the Water and all this kind of stuff. So we did, oh my gosh, Havana.
Oh yeah.
I'm like at the, but she said it'll count because it's with, this,
Yeah.
freedom fighter. And I was like, okay, so I was like, it was really funny. So we probably want that one was hard to do. So I don't really want to do that one again.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the Olaf Festival in October, and then we do Fantasy of Trees, which is the Christmas one.
Oh, cool.
Uh, and it's a fundraiser for Children's Hospital.
What are you most proud of in your dance career?
Okay, well, of course, the dancing professionally. Really proud of that. That's something I never thought I would really do. Um, so that was just almost felt like a gift. I mean, I wasn't even trying for it. He was just there and said, you. So that was pretty cool. And being a mm, being a part of somebody's life, I'm at a point where, I mean, I have taught some of my students children, still, and just being a part of a child's life is so good. And then you get to hear about it from, as adults, oh my gosh, I learned so much from you, uh, not just dance, but, everything that comes with dance. I mean, so
Yeah.
much comes with it. So I'm really proud of, or that's really close to my heart. I don't know if proud's really the right word to say. One of the things I cherish most is just being a positive part of somebody's life. And then
Yes.
just to circle back around to my dancers is the diversity and the
Yes.
inclusivity piece
Yep.
is rather than the separation, the all one kind of thing.
Yeah.
So and being able to pull that off. I've
Yeah.
never had one person ever say, oh, really criticize that. Everybody's, has been real positive about it,
Yes.
so.
Do you have any unique projects that you have been able to work on that are related to dance?
The project that I would like to do would be this whole show thing,
Yeah.
uh, with the storyline. Uh, so it's, we have done that. Now I think about it, we did do that a couple. I did a whole pirate thing.
Oh, really?
It was a 20, yeah, it was a 20, oh, you would have loved it. It was a 20-minute, whole pirate and
Cool.
it was more like pirate and Roma,
Yes.
dancing kind of thing. It
Yes.
was really a part that we were invited to do is, oh, steampunk. We've done some steampunk things too.
Oh.
That was a lot of fun too, to pull into some steampunk music. We had some steampunk carnivals. But anyway, I'd like for that to come back. So that's what we were asked to do was like, steampunk. So I said, well, how about steampunk pirates, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And so that was a little show. I forgot about doing that. So that'd be a good project. It'd be fun to do a project with you.
Yes.
If we could do a video thing,
Yeah. I would
you
love
know.
that.
Uh-huh. And one thing that we did do, we didn't do it this past year because, I had this hip injury thing. So
Yes.
or not, no, I have the new hip. But so we didn't do it this year, but last year we made a video Christmas card
Oh.
that was really nice. It was about 20 minutes long, and we sent it out to the assisted living people.
Oh,
You
cool.
know, so we were able to. I think we had to mask and all that, but we did individual shots and that kind of thing. So that was a good project, and I'd like to do that again.
Yeah. You like to share healthy, fun recipes.
Oh
Tell us
yeah.
about that.
Well, I have autoimmune disease. My great grandfather passed away when he was 44 of it. My father at 54, and so I got those I got those genes. Anyway, so about 4 or 5 years ago, I found it's called a specific carbohydrate diet. I've always been a health nut though,
Uh-huh.
always. My mom was. I was, in fact, it's like two of the dancers down in Miami, they were from California. And I got a whole health kick when I was in California, with the juice bars and everything, like that. So, and it's always appealed to me. So I've always done that. Then I discovered through this diet that a lot of the health foods, they're not health foods for everybody.
Yes.
Uh, It kind of depends on each person's unique situation. How I eat may not be good for other people. So, but anyway, I met an acupuncturist. Of course, now I do acupressure. I do acupuncture in the ears also, but she's the one who she has the same autoimmune condition. She told me about it, and she said you can't cheat. It won't work if you cheat, not one little bit, because you feed the bad bacteria.
Oh,
So I don't cheat. And so it's just, I mean, it's a lot of work.
yep.
But you know what? And the Brian likes to cook, and so he's eating healthy that way, too. And a lot of people, when I first started, oh, you can't eat that, you can't eat that, and it kind of made me feel a little bit bad. And so it's kind of fun to be able to put these desserts and ice cream and cookies and to say, you can have your cake and
Yeah,
eat it all at the same time and still be healthy. You just got to change your ingredients a little bit.
right.
And so it makes it kind of fun.
Definitely. Sure.
So whether that way you don't feel like you're depriving yourself,
Yes.
or anything like that. So anyway, yeah, I ate 2 bowls of ice cream last night. But it was healthy, healthy ice cream,
Yeah.
that we made. So, and I would like to do more with that one day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
I
that's
really would like blog, or I
yeah.
don't
Maybe you could
know.
write a cookbook or something. That would be
Yeah, yeah, something like that. I really would,
yeah.
so, and I will sometimes.
I like
So,
that. That's great.
because so many people have,
Yes.
IBD and IBS. I mean, and with
Exactly.
the pandemic, it's going to be, there's even more of that now. So
Yep.
hopefully I can maybe help some people,
That would be
so.
great. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dancers are already disciplined, so
Yeah. Yes.
right, so they'll be the first ones that I can go to. Say, you can do this.
Do you want to plug your classes or any where people can find you if they're interested? Um,
Well, I have right now. I have. I'm teaching 4 ballet classes to my little ones. Two of them are on Saturday. That's at also Arts and Fine Crafts Center. And then I've got 2 at another dance studio. That's at Ride. It's Royal Dance Academy, and that studio caters a little bit to children who may need some financial assistance. So we try to get grants and sponsors to help them pay for their lessons. And
that's cool. Yeah.
the other one at Also Arts and Fine Crafts Center, that's through the city.
Uh-huh.
I'm an independent contractor through them. So, and then I have a belly dance class down there. That's on Thursday nights. And then my other more advanced class, which is the Sensation group, we lost our space.
Oh no.
Now I just said, okay, since we're having this, some like, some don't, let's just go to Zoom. So
Oh,
we're doing Zoom classes now during the week, but that class right there would be would not really be for beginners. You'd
right,
have to have dance experience for that group. So
right.
a beginner could come to Thursday. So anyway, I'm teaching a couple privates, at home from home,
Oh, good.
because I have a home studio. They can, people can come here too.
Yeah,
So
good.
I'm only doing one yoga class. That's on Mondays on Zoom. I'd like to pick my yoga back up some also, but we'll see, as things progress.
It's been great talking to you, and I want to thank you so much for joining me to talk about your dance career. Um,
Oh, thank you.
it's wonderful to hear about your experiences and your troupe, and uh, it's very inspiring. So, thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
First, I have a comment. First comment is just for people who don't know, we're like soul sisters.
Yeah.
We do these weird things at the same time. It's
Yeah.
like, you're on one side of the country and we're 2 time zones. We're just like all of a sudden, oh, you're here, I'm here too. It's so funny and it's so cool. I
Totally.
love it. Yeah. And then the other thing is, it would be fun if somebody would do this whole process with you. I'd love to hear your story.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it would be very fun for somebody to interview me. I don't know who, but But yeah,
I'll give it a shot. You can edit it out. But yeah, think about that. That'd be fun.
okay.
I know we would all love to hear about you.
Oh, well, thank you. That would be cool. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that then. Cool.
Okay, great.
All right.
You can
Well,
coach me.
yes, exactly. You know what? You're very savvy with the camera and everything too, so I appreciate that. I think it's great.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, thank you. All
cool.
right.
All right.
Thank you,
Well, thank you
Jessica.
so much for joining me, and we've come to the end of this episode of Shimmy Chat.
All right. Love you.
All right. Love you too.
Bye.